In this video, we're going to talk about the North Carolina Child Support Calculator and how to use it to determine the appropriate amount of child support. In North Carolina, the child support guidelines, and there's a link here to those guidelines, are what controls the North Carolina child support. And that will control, meaning that is what a family's will do for families whose combined household income is less than $40,000 per month. So when you add both parents' income together, it's less than $40,000 a month. Those families will use the child support guidelines. That's most families in North Carolina. And this calculator will tell you exactly how to do that. So first, we're going to input the number of children from this relationship. So these parents in this relationship. Then the next field will ask you the number of overnights per year. So you'd want to think about, well, if it's every other weekend, then you would think about that would be 26 times a year is every other weekend. And how many overnights is it? Is it Friday and Saturday? Is it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday? And then also think about vacations, holidays, anything that's in the agreement that you and the other parent have agreed upon. Sometimes that will be different for each child, but most of the time it will be the same for each child. Now, if you're splitting custody exactly 50-50, then each child is going to be having either 182 or 183 overnights per year with each parent. So you would input the exact amount of overnights and then hit next. Now the next step is to include gross income. And this is for both parents' gross income. So this is the actual income both parents are receiving. The net income would be after taxes are paid or health insurance is paid or any kind of deduction is made. But for this worksheet, we have to use the gross income. It does include base income plus any kind of variable income. So rental income, interest, dividend income, bonuses, commissions, any kind of regular recurring income is going to be included. So let's assume that one parent's income is, let's say, $10,000 per month. The other parent's income is $5,000 per month. And then we click to the next section. And this next section relates to some particular expenses that each parent may have. So if they're paying child support for another child, a child not related to this relationship, if they have work related childcare costs for this child. So let's say that there was before school or after school care, whatever parent is making that payment would include that here. So let's say that there is some before and after school care costs. The next would be the health insurance premium. So only the parent who is paying the health insurance premium for the children only. So this is not the family plan or a plan that includes other people. It would just be what is the portion of that health insurance that relates to the children only. So let's say that that portion is $250 a month. We're using monthly numbers here. Now, extraordinary expenses are generally that's something that a court could determine, but we generally see it as relating to private school or any kind of transportation between households. But most of the time, we don't in a kind of regular, ordinary of the court normal course of things. We are not including much in the extraordinary expense category. This category is not going to include regular recurring expenses like clothes or groceries or anything like that. Now, if the other parent also has additional expenses in these categories, then that parent would include that here. We're going to hit next. Now, this relates to any expenses that either parent has for children not of this relationship. So maybe they have other children and there isn't an exact child support amount determined, but they do have children not of this relationship, you would add the number of children that are listed there. And then the next we hit calculate, and you'll see that this calculation came up as worksheet B. The reason is that we split the time 50-50. It doesn't matter whether or not we refer to the relationship or to the custody plan as sole or joint custody. What matters is how did we split the time. And you'll remember that we had put in 182 overnight, so that popped up worksheet B. So on this worksheet, you'll see that one parent makes $10,000 a month, one parent makes $5,000 a month. There's no responsibility for other children. And so there's a total monthly adjusted gross income of $15,000 per month that the combined household income has. The percentage share of that 15,000 that each is bringing to the table is, well, 10,000 is 66.6% of 15,000, and 5,000 is that 33% of that. Now the next line 4, this is based on a chart. The state of North Carolina has determined that two children whose parents make a combined total of $15,000 per year, those two children cost $2,463. So that's what we refer to as the basic child support obligation. That's based on a table, and you can see that table when you click on those child support guidelines. Now, you'll see here, though, we have added some additional line items. And so first we're going to look at, okay, well, of this 2463, both parents are receiving roughly 50-50 time with the children. And we have some additional line items, these adjustments under line 10. And those adjustments are, well, one parent's covering some childcare costs, one parent is covering some health insurance premium. So there's total adjustments of $550. And so we need to add that in. And so each parent is taking a share of that, of those adjustments, and paying their fair share of those adjustments. And at the bottom, we will find that the parent who's making $10,000 a month, even though custody is 50-50, actually does owe $437 to the other parent. You can actually send this worksheet by email, or you can download it, or you can log in and save it.